Change control. Okay, we basically once we have our project, we draw a line in the sand and say this is our sign off baseline. This is our project. This is the dates that we're committing to. We're saying that all these activities, this is when we're going to start, this is when we're going to finish, this is when this is going to happen, etc., etc. So everyone agrees upon this schedule, and then we baseline it, basically saying this is it. So if there's any changes, we're able to measure against the original baseline, so we know if we've slipped, if we're actually ahead, where our costs have been blown out, etc., etc. And you're able to compare back. It's like historical data. So you're going to change your baseline. If this is your schedule, and you're like, okay, we need some more activities. We found out that this new bit of is required. So you go back in here and you put it in there. You submit to your board and etc. saying, look, we need more money. We need to extend. We need approval to make this the project go longer because of this, and this. So then they compare it to this original baseline, and then they see where it is, and they make the assessment. Oh, okay, this is legitimate, or no, you've got to find some way of getting it to that date. Or like if you've got a budget, and you spend more than your budget, you compare what you've spent to your budget. This is sort of the same thing. This is performance of your schedule, and your activities is comparing to the original budget basically, except it's called a baseline. Right, change control. We'll pick this. The red path here is your critical path. So all the green ones basically means they can obviously drift out. If they're not done on that date, it doesn't affect the end date. Obviously, eventually they are going to get to that. You keep pushing them out. It's eventually they're going to become the red, and it's going to be your critical path. So we'll have a look at here at the fabrication, and after we've done our baseline and everything, everyone's signed off and it's approved, the company comes back and says, oh, look, this has happened. We can't actually do it in that time frame. We need another week. So this is what happens if we have to change their schedule by a week. So what's happened? As you can see, like this activity is fine because it's happened before the implementation of an extra week. But if you have a look there, there's the original baseline. So here's the activity here that's being pushed out by a week. And if you see, there's our delivery dates, etc., all the way up here to the finish date. So everything's moved basically a week from this point in time here. The end date has been delayed by a week. The channel closures, which here's our channel closures, has been shifted, which causes problems. As we spoke about before, they require 20 days notification. So if you send out a notification, then a week later you're like, actually no, we've been delayed. They're expecting their water to be shut off on 1 week, and then it's not. We actually, it could actually cause a bigger delay, not just 1 week. So what can we do to fix this? Well, there's several things. We can either, try and cut down this time frame here. We could ask, is there some way they can get extra people on to help with the fabrication? Or is there other things up later on that we can cut down? The commissioning, do they need to have that longer period to do that? The project closure, does that require it? If this is really the must-be end-or date, then there's a lot of things we can do. But if it's not that critical, and it's no big deal if it is delayed a week, then we just let it happen. So as I said, if this is delayed a week, and because of the notification, it may actually close out. Blow out this date might close. Blow out to like another 3 weeks because of that. You've got to give customers that time to know that the water's being shut off and so forth. So they need to take measures. Change control continues. If we have a look at this here, we found that after doing the investigations, or someone has come and said, oh look, there's actually a couple of more sites that have been missed in our desktop review. So we've actually got to add in a few more activities. So in here, we've added these 6 activities. These numberings here just are simply, it's the functional location of each of these sort of gates and so forth. So we've added these 6 extra activities in, and well, let's see what it has. It pushes it out an extra 2 days. Because as you can see, these are sort of, again, 3 activities, start to start. 1 day to do 3, so therefore it's blown out by 2 days. It being on the green path, it's not the critical path. And as we can see, down here, it's been blown out by 2 days and it still remains red. So this is still our critical path, so this is alright. Change control continued. Back down here with these. We jump forward 6 months and we start putting in actuals. So we go in and say, okay, we started the project in January, etc., etc. You know, all these things happened as we said they would, continue on. You know, we got to this stage here where they did their fabrication, and yes, it did take an extra week. Go all the way up to installing of these gates, and then we find that these activities down here actually finished earlier. So here's our baseline. These are our baseline activities. So because they were delayed a week, you know, we started a week later, you know, we were behind. But we found that due to, you know, the guys up here installing these gates, they actually found that, you know, they finished theirs and were able to bring another team down. So we brought another two guys down, and they're actually installing more sites, more components than originally thought. So they're able to finish, you know, about 3, 6, 9, 10, about 15 or so in one day with 2 guys going. So that has brought this back in line. You know, we actually finished earlier than what we thought we would. You know, it took them 2 days to install what we thought was going to take them about a week and a half, 2 weeks, which is good. But not being on the critical path, it didn't really matter. And this here is our MS project, what it would look like, what I've showed you in here. So here's all our baseline, etc., with our links. Here's what it looks like in actuals. So down in here you've got basically what I was saying before with the red and etc., the actuals being the blue and all that sort of good stuff. And that's what it looks like there.